Hello, everyone. This is the new self-awareness experiment for the week of January 11th to 17th. Okay, so 3 cards that we have this week. The thought, the concept that you're being asked to consider is loss and liberation. Every time we lose something or someone, there's also liberation from something. Time constraints, emotional or financial investment, obligation, responsibility, a role we've taken on. We choose at any given moment to focus on whether or not we perceive the loss or the liberation. One is heavy, one is light. Sometimes we're so used to the weight of loss that initially the loss creates fear instead of potential relief. Sometimes we have to look at the judgments and the emotions the loss brings up before we can appreciate the sense of liberation. Okay. So this week you're being asked to consider the role of loss, I would say, in your life, how you look at loss, and how have you looked at loss? Is it going to show up in the week in terms of memory or in terms of an actual event? Is it something happening to you or that you're witnessing around you? Sometimes the experience of loss and liberation coexist, or they bounce back and forth. Certainly, it's something that a lot of people experience guilt around. If they feel liberation after the loss of someone that has been problematic in their lives, or for whom they have been responsible and are exhausted from taking care of. So if that's your situation, this is really being presented to you as a way to shift the perception and look at some of your emotions around whether or not you're allowing yourself to appreciate the liberation, or whether or not you feel like you need to stay in a sense of loss and mourning in order to be honorable or noble, or to be loyal to the person that is no longer there. Which I think works beautifully with this card that you're being asked to embrace as an intentional attitude. It is grace. Okay. Grace has a smooth, easy, peaceful, and supportive quality. It flows naturally into us and through us. It's an experience of letting the benevolent universe take us through our movements and guide us with a loving hand. Notice the feeling quality of this description and return to it today. Every time you're about to do or think about anything, or at any point in the day when you find yourself feeling stressed or thinking too much. So definitely keep in mind grace, smooth, easy, peaceful, supportive quality, letting the benevolent universe take us through our movements and guide us with a loving hand. It's really letting you know that you're not alone, that there is somebody, there is a force, there is a benevolent force that is there for you, and that you can lean into grace. It's there for you. It's there for every one of us. So definitely, especially if you find yourself dealing with any kind of guilt around feeling liberated from a situation that you're not so sure it's okay to feel liberated from, lean into grace, lean into that sense of divine love, which has no judgment, no blame, just love and compassion. Okay? Now, I also find it very interesting that the awareness activity card you're being asked to consider is this one, childhood prayers. Today, resurrect your childhood prayers, but say them in the feminine gender. If the prayers were not originally gender specific, take a moment to imagine what your concept of God would be with feminine qualities. Remember, the exercise is not designed to resurrect a belief in God, just the prayers, however simple, and use as many of them as often as you can. So, for example, the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, Our Mother who art in heaven. Instead of saying Lord, you might want to say Goddess if you're saying grace. And the thing about this I find really fascinating is whether or not Again, it's not designed to resurrect a belief in God or goddess. It's not designed to create one for you. You may have absolutely no belief in a god force at all or a goddess force. But what you can do is you can let yourself imagine that there is a loving female divine presence this week. And notice, like literally, make it a part of your week as part of your experiment to address in some way a divine goddess presence. Okay, a female presence. Now, what does a female god, what qualities would they have? They can have many different qualities because, Shakti, the destroyer, the giver of life, the goddess, birth and death, it's all part of the feminine aspect of it. But there is a maternal quality that whatever is going on, it's ultimately for the improvement, the furtherance of life. And that within all of the acts, there is that maternal quality of survival of. Even if there's death involved, like the death of a plant, then it goes and it becomes fertilizer for the next generation of seeds. So it's about life cycle, not about good and bad. So as much, and for you, whatever it is, like for me, the maternal quality really comes up. The tenderness, the softness, the loving support, that's their sense that somebody is just like soothing my brow, and that quality of maternal energy is something that I relate to and definitely want to call forth in this. This is what I would call forth in it, but you do it however it works for you. All right. So you're being asked to lean into grace, again, a divine force, and look at anything to do with prayers, childhood prayers. If you don't have a prayer, like I said, make one up. I didn't say that, but I said, just allow yourself to imagine and play with the idea of a feminine force. Oh, look at that. And also the idea of loss and liberation. Look at where that plays in your life. See how it shows up. Okay? That is the self-awareness activity for that week. And I'll be back at the end of that week to do a debrief on it and ask you some questions about it and check in with you. If you have any questions about how you might want to apply this, please put it in the comments. Or go to my website. If you're shy to do it on the YouTube channel, you can go to my website and you can check in there through the submission form, and it's private, and it will come to my email, and I will answer you. Okay? Suggestions, ideas, questions, all good, great. Likes, shares, subscribes, all appreciated. Have a great week, and I'll be back. Take care.